Well, hey, welcome everybody. I'm Frank Peterson, Kirch Property Management Sales. This is my managing broker, and he runs our office, Mr. Ed Kirch. Say hi, Ed.
How's everybody doing?
Hopefully everybody's doing really well today. Ed's got 45 years experience investing in real estate, as well as being a broker, an investor, and a number of other hats that he's worn throughout the years. But we have a very special topic today. Ed, do you want to bring it up?
Sure. This is why the rent moratoriums that Governor Pritzker and the CDC put in place is bad for tenants and landlords, and what can tenants and landlords do about it?
This is a very relevant topic, and I bet you a lot of people are interested to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
So where do you want to start?
All right, let's start with the tenants. This is why this rent moratorium is bad for tenants.
Well, maybe we should just give like a broad overview of what's going on first, just so everybody is on.
Why don't you do that so they know?
Sure. So we're in Illinois, on the west suburbs of Illinois. It's 2020 right now. Everybody knows 2020 has been very crazy. Part of that includes there's the idea that a lot of people have been laid off. They might be in the service industry. They might be non-essential, quote unquote, non-essential workers. And that means that they may not be able to pay the rent or other expenses. So the national and the state government have both put their own versions of rent moratoriums in place, which means that you can't, eviction moratoriums. So essentially landlords have their hands tied behind their backs. They're not able to evict tenants, which may sound good at first for tenants, but you'll soon find out that it's not all, sunshine and rainbows. So, all right, let's go right into it. So let's talk about the tenants.
All right. Here's what you got to keep in mind. The eviction ban does not mean you don't have to pay rent. When this is all over, landlords are going to go after all the tenants, possibly bankrupting a lot of them or getting judgments against a lot of them, and then go after them for money. So you might sit there for 6-7 months without paying rent, but you might spend 5 or 10 years paying all that back. So for that aspect, it's not good. If you can make payments to your landlord, do a payment arrangement and see what you can do. The other thing is it's going to go on your credit. Your car insurance is going to be higher. People aren't going to rent to you. You may want to buy a house. You won't be able to buy a house. So all of this is not good for you. So if you're a tenant, you want to pay rent and do what you can, because this is going to come back and bite you in the butt really bad.
Yeah, what typically happens to a tenant when they get evicted?
You're going to have a very hard time finding another landlord that will put you in. Your credit score goes down the tube. You won't be able to buy a house. You won't be able to rent an apartment. Your car insurance will be higher. You won't, any kind of loans you get, car loans or whatever, will be much higher. You're going to pay for that eviction for 10 years or more.
Yeah, it's a big red mark on your credit report, and it can do a lot of damage. Absolutely, especially for the people who need to exercise that credit the most. The people who are living paycheck to paycheck, don't have a bunch of savings.
So this is really going to hurt the average tenant. The other thing that you're going to find right now, I know we've tightened our qualifications, so tenants that are marginal right now are not getting in our places. We used to take marginal places with tenants, and we are no longer taking marginal tenants. So you're going to have a hard time finding someplace to rent. So you might end up on the street just because you have 6 months rent free. Because landlords are really tightening their qualifications right now.
Yeah. You also mentioned something about how if enough people are not paying, then landlords are going to have to adjust and adapt to their new environment, right? So did you want to go give some kind of projection as to what you might foresee happening in the future if people continuing to not perform on the rent payments?
Most apartment buildings have less than an 8% profit margin on them. So if you're paying $1,000 rent $80 goes to profit. That's not a lot, especially when you're investing millions of dollars to get that. So if the landlord is not getting rent, the only choice he's got is he's going to have to raise rents. So you're going to see rents go up and qualifications get tighter. So even if you're one of the people paying rent, you're going to pay for the ones that aren't. And the ones that aren't are probably going to end up in a homeless shelter because they're going to have a hard time renting after this. So yeah, everybody's going to pay, and they're going to pay dearly for this.
So you don't even have to be the bad apple. You can
Right.
still be the one that gets ruined.
Yeah, you're going to end up paying more. The money has to come from somewhere. It's what people always cease to figure out. The money has to come from somewhere. It doesn't magically appear. Landlords are not sitting on piles of 20s and could just throw some money in. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that's what really bums me out about a lot of this is, I mean, a lot of the landlords that I know, they are just regular people. They got a couple of properties on the side that they've saved up for, and that's part of their retirement plan. You know, these are not gigantic Fortune 500 companies with, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars in reserves ready to take a kind of hit like this, and they're not going to get bailed out, you know, like the auto or the any other types of industries have been bailed out in the past, the banking and the aviation, you know.
Most are
This is just regular moms and pop, you know, just regular people that own a couple of properties, a lot of them.
3-unit buildings. So if one person doesn't pay, that could be 50% of the rent. And that's their retirement income. So now they're tapping into people's retirement incomes.
Yeah, and those are the people who are going to get hit the worst.
Right.
Is your small little investors that only have a couple few that don't have 12 months of reserves, you know, for a rainy day.
The tenants are going to end up paying too.
Yep.
What can a landlord do to protect themselves? All
What
right.
can they do?
First thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get a complete application. You can go online. If you don't have an application, go online to Kirch Property Management Sales. We have applications online. Go swipe my application, make people fill out the application. It's well worth it. After you get a complete application, you want to run criminal and credit checks. There are some areas like Chicago that make you do the criminal checks second. You can't run them at the same time. But most places will let you do that. So you want to run credit and criminals. You want to start being pickier on your credit scores. You want to take higher credit scores, leave the unit empty, get a good tenant. You cannot afford to take a marginal tenant anymore. So your qualifications must go way up.
Mm-hmm.
So do the credit, do the criminal. They have a criminal background. They've sold drugs in the past. They have a current DUI in the last 10 years, whatever. They're a high risk. Do not rent to them. So watch your credit and criminal. You want to get bank statements. If you get 2 months worth of bank statements, you can see, are they overdrawing their bank account? Do they have extra money? Are they paying their bills on time?
Yep, the patterns, money in, money out.
Right.
Yep.
Get a copy of the bank statements. I talked to one landlord the other day. They said while their wife's interviewing them, they go out and look at the car, see how the car looks inside. If the car's neat, clean, they know they're going to keep the apartment neat and clean.
Hey, that's something, huh?
Unless they're probably not going to rent to them.
I hope nobody looks at my car. I happen to be notorious for being one of those guys that never cleans out his car.
My car has those days because we work on it. Yes. Another thing you want to do, go on the people's Facebook page, go on their Twitter page. They're affiliated with the gang. They're going to have gang activity on their website. If they're into all kinds of weird stuff, they're going to have that on their website. So go on their Facebook, their Twitter accounts, and see the real person you're running to.
Mm-hmm. Get the
Yes.
full picture.
Yes.
So with all of these, rent and eviction moratorium in place, and then, a lot of people are anticipating a lot of evictions coming after they lift this moratorium because of all the non-performing people. They're trying to get them out so they can start making money again and not lose their assets. You think a lot of the landlords moving forward after all this is, said and done, you think a lot of them are just not going to bother to do background checks and credit checks with their tenants?
I think they're going to do it more now than ever.
Of course.
If you have a tenant living there for free for a year, now you're going to be a lot pickier.
Yeah, you're gonna learn from the school of hard knocks. You learn real fast, aren't you?
Right.
Like, well, I better get this done the right way this time.
Don't rent to marginal tenants, leave it empty. If you have you should get a landlord's name, check the previous landlord. Here's a trick on checking the previous landlord. Say somebody lives at 123 Main Street. Look up 123 Main Street on the public records. See who owns Main Street. See who the landlord is, and see if that matches the person they're giving you. Because a professional tenant will give you a bogus landlord. Be one of their friends that they're doing a check for.
You ever seen that happen where they give you a reference and it ends up being their friend or their cousin or their brother or something?
We see it a lot. That's why you want to go online and see who the landlord really is. And that's easy to do. Check out the tax records, see who owns it. So yeah, make sure somebody's on the job history for 2 years. Get paycheck stubs. Check the paycheck stubs to see if they agree with the bank statement. Because people will give you bogus paycheck stubs. So,
You've seen that too?
Yes. There are websites out there to get paycheck stubs on. Make your own paycheck stub.
Oh, yeah. Like you can do QuickBooks, right? You can make invoices and all sorts of stuff.
Right. So yeah, you want to check.
Or you can just find a template online and change the stuff on it.
So check the pay stubs to the bank statement. Talk to previous landlords. See how their car is, bank statements. Talk to the people, see how they are. That's going to give you a halfway decent idea on who the person really is. If you don't know how to qualify a tenant, get somebody to help you. Property managers will help you qualify tenants.
Yep.
Careful though, a lot of realtors will just put a tenant in for the commission and they don't care who they put in. So be careful who's putting the tenant in for you. That makes a big difference.
Sure does. I mean, do they have the infrastructure in place? Do they do this all the time, or is this just kind of something they do on the side?
Exactly.
Yep. How about anything to say for landlords right now that have a tenant that's not performing? They've just been squatting for 4 months, haven't paid any rent.
Talk to them, pay to get them out. If you can't pay to get them out, you're going to have to raise the rents on the other tenants to compensate for the tenant not paying.
So yeah, there's a term for that. People call it cash for keys. Did you want to kind of touch on that?
Sure. If you go to a tenant and say, hey, we'll let you out of your lease, you won't owe anything, please move. We'll give you $100 to move. If you don't, we will go after you at the end of all this and we will get our money. And sometimes they will do that.
Yeah, it works sometimes. And it's better to get them out and then just, have someone else come in, right? Than just to have it go on for who knows how long. It's already extended to the end of the year. It could be to the end of next quarter, Q1. It could be all the way into next summer. Who knows how long it could go? It could even go to the end of next year for all we know.
Yeah, you never know. So cash for keys is another way. So yeah, keep talking to them, see what you can do.
Yeah. Well, I think that anything else that you wanted to share about this? I know this has been a kind of short and sweet. Anything else that you wanted to chime in on?
No, just I can't emphasize enough. Qualify your tenants to the best of your ability. If you need help, call us. We'll help you.
Yeah.
We can write credit and criminal checks for you if you want us to. So, we offer that service with landlords. So we can do that if you want. We can look at the application for you, things like that. So yeah, we can do that.
That's right. And yeah, again, the website, kirchpropertymanagement.com. And the phone number. Ed, did you want to chime out the phone number for us?
630-897-5800.
Yeah, we're happy to help. Even if, we don't earn your business or we're not managing it for you, we're still happy to answer questions and do whatever we can for you guys.
And it's just like running credit criminal checks. We can do that too. Look at the application. And the tenant will pay for the credit check. If you're not charging the tenants for the credit check, start charging for the credit check.
You got it. That's a pass-through fee, right? So a lot of times in commercial real estate, the landlords accept payment from the tenant as a pass-through. It comes into them and then it goes out to a third party. So it's called a pass-through, where it's just moving through them as a vehicle in order to get to its endpoint somewhere else. Yep.
Right.
And it's very acceptable to charge a fee, for background and criminal and credit. Absolutely. All right. Well, that's about it. So we really appreciate you joining us for today. And it's a little bit short and sweet. But again, this is a really, really important topic, and we just want to raise as much awareness as possible to both the tenants and to the landlords. So hopefully we can just all get through this together, and then we can go back to business as usual as quick as possible. But in the meantime, we're all kind of stuck with this,
Share the video, hit like, and yes. So
yep. If you know a landlord or a tenant, anybody who's showing any interest in this topic, absolutely share it with them, bring it to their attention, share this on social media.
And subscribe to the channel, because we're going to try to do these once a week.
That's right. We're always looking for feedback. We're always looking for new ideas, right? So if we have people who want to come on and be a guest with subject matter expert, somebody who might have something relevant to investing in real estate, we are all ears. We'd love to have people come on and collaborate with all sorts of people. So, but we're looking forward to it. We're having fun while we're doing it, and we're trying to make content every week. So Ed, did you want to take us out and say goodbye?
Like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see ya.
All right, bye.